This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
You go get the players that you know fit the Raiders.
You had some decisions to make at 13. What was it about Brock Bowers in your mind that set him apart?
I mean, just different. I mean, you're talking about the probably most dynamic football player in college football at that tight end position in a long time. And it's rare you get a guy like that, you know, that can line up as a slot receiver, see him in the backfield, reverses, catch the ball. But I think more importantly, his toughness. Watching him block in the SEC, watching him get after guys, I mean, that's what impressed me. Just a gritty player, more importantly, a winner, and he can help us score points.
Were you surprised, disappointed? What kind of emotions that when you get to 13, all the quarterbacks were gone?
No, I was excited to pick.
So when you guys did your mock, did you think that they'd all be gone? I mean, 6 and 12, that just seemed like a lot.
It was a lot, thinking NFL record, right? So it was it's one of those situations you just play it out. You sit there watching like everybody else, and again, you got your board, you got guys on your board, you're sitting there, and then you look and you say, okay, look, we got A or B or whatever it is, and obviously we're very fortunate to get a guy like Brock Bowers in our room and in our building.
Coach, how often and how successful do you think, this upcoming season running 2 tight end sets with Michael and Brock could be?
Successful? I mean, I look at the National Football League is difficult. I mean, being a former player going against 12 personnel, the matchups, the alignments that they get you in, what you do defensively, I think becomes an issue as well. But you're looking at really, I think we're fortunate to have 2 tight ends on our roster that in the last 4 years of college football are pretty much the best 2. And I think hopefully that creates issues. It's going to create issues for us as practice. We'll see that. In our division, we got some really good tight ends, so it'll be good reps for us as well.
You mentioned looking for guys that fit with what the Raiders are trying to do, and identity and culture has been big for you. How much do you feel like overall that class fits that?
I think so. I mean, we got some gritty, some grimy, nasty, back alley guys, man. And more importantly, we got size. I think if you look at the 2 old linemen, both gritty, tough, physical, length, power. You look at what we did on the back end, speed with the secondary, and we got, Mike linebacker and Tommy, who, when you come from Ohio State and you talk to the players there, he was kind of the bell cow for them. And then we got this little running back from New Hampshire, man, and he's unique. So it's a very good group of guys, man. I think the coolest part about the whole draft was getting on the phone with them and hearing their excitement, wanting to be Raiders. So I think it was a good match.
What do you think about Trey Taylor? What do you think about Trey Taylor being available in the 7th round, a Jim Thorpe Award winner?
Come on, where does that happen at, right? Got 2 of them on our team now. He's been a really good college football players, but Trey was very impressive when we brought him in on a 30 visit. Very mature. You can see why he was successful in college. I think he has a great opportunity to help us, especially in the kicking game. But when you look at him physically, I mean, he's a specimen. I mean, he's a good-looking prospect. It's good to get him in the building. Glad to have him here. Great smile, good personality, a really good fit for us.
What are you looking to get out of the rookie mini camp here over the next 2 days?
Learning. We're in elementary school. How we do things the Raider way, the Raider culture, the mindset, how we play football, how we practice, how we study. They're doing that now in the classroom. I mean, they're bright-eyed. I asked them to be here 5 minutes early. They're here about 20 minutes early. They're sitting in the room by themselves, and I looked around like I thought there was a meeting going on, and they're just ready to go, man. So a bunch of eager players, and I think for us, just to get to one another. We talked about trust, accountability, and process with these guys yesterday, and to continue to grow that and get them accustomed to not only the coaches but the rest of the players on our roster.
Coach, your path as a player, you were an undrafted guy, had to grind for everything to get to where you are. You have a lot of guys that are coming into rookie minicamp today that kind of are trying to accomplish the same thing. So how excited are you going to be to watch those guys as well, trying to make their way through? Yeah, we got 32 Raiders here. I don't care if you're the 13th pick or the guy that's trying out. They got a Raider uniform on. We're going to treat them accordingly. They earn the right to stay here. They earn the right to get more reps. Just excited to get them here, man. It's just good to get a full roster. 90 guys on the roster. Now we can kind of like put this thing together, right? Start to build this team and what we wanted to look for the 24 season.
Antonio, from a personnel standpoint or from a X's and O's standpoint, as a former linebacker, how tough is it to defend a 12 personnel package on the other side of the ball?
It's very difficult. I mean, just, again, because where can these guys align? And I think when you look at our guys, both of them can do a lot of things for you. You can line them up again. I told you, the slot at the number 1 wide receiver. You can put them in line. You can put them in pairs. But more importantly, who's matching up on the other side against us? Is it a linebacker? Is it a safety? Is it a nickel? Is it a corner? So I think each team throughout the league, when you look at their 12 personnel, their body types and their skill set changes defensively what you like to do and what you want to do. And that dictates. And I think hopefully our 12 personnel does that this season.
When you were playing, did you face that a lot, or was that even in vogue yet?
It wasn't as big. I mean, more, if you think about 12 personnel in the 2000s, it was a true Y, like that extra old lineman and that really skilled player, right? The Shockeys, the Whittens of the world, Chris Cooley's of those guys in the division I played in. And then you had that guy that was just like, man, he's 6'6", 270, just extra offensive lineman. And this is different. You're talking about skilled players who can catch the ball, who can come out the backfield, who can do a lot of different things for you. And you see it. Kansas City does it a lot with their tight ends.
Antonio, Jackson Powers Johnson looks like a guy that's kind of right up your alley a little bit, and Raiders, as well. What'd you like about the guard from Oregon?
I just love the film. I saw a guy that was gritty, that finished, that strained, that loved the physicality of the game. I saw a leader, saw a winner, saw a guy that just loves football. And, you want that identity up front. You always look at teams. With the best teams, it ain't the skill position, right? You want those gritty guys like we got on our D-line. You want that on the offensive line. And the more of those bad boys we can bring in with Colton Miller, Mumford, and James, that's going to be huge for us. But he has an attitude, man. I mean, talking to him on the phone was emotional even for me because just how excited he was. And it was like, bam, we got it right. Maybe nobody else likes it, but we got it right because it's a match made in heaven.
Coach, kind of speaking about right up your alley, obviously you guys drafted Tommy out of Ohio State. As a former linebacker, what excites you the most about his game and what he brings?
Old school football, smash mouth, no fair dodging, bring on the lead, you know what I mean? Leader, captain, green dot. Played in a system and on a team that has won, has been close to winning national championships and been there, played some really good players. But more important is his presence. When you walk around him, you feel a linebacker. He feels and looks like a linebacker. And he can create some more size for us and depth. I mean, you look at guys like Robert Spillane, you look at Diablo, look at Luke Masterson, what they've been able to do. Get this young guy in here with those guys and let him grow and learn from them. Future is bright. I'm sure you heard the Terry Arnold thing about the coin flip. What was your reaction to hearing that story? And was that only talking about Raiders?
You made it pretty clear all along that no matter who you brought in here at quarterback, the job was basically going to go through Aiden. How comfortable are you with that quarterback room and excited to see how this thing all plays out?
I'm excited. I mean, what Aiden did the last 4 games and what he's done this offseason, changing his body, his work ethic, being here every day, blocking out the outside noise, not worried about anything. I'm excited. And then you bring Gardner in here and then listen. You talk about personality. I know you guys interviewed him. It's great. It's great for our building. It's great for our quarterback room. And if you got competition in the quarterback room, what does every other room look at? Looking at those 2 guys. Anthony Brown's done a heck of a job as well. So what I see is guys get out there early. Aiden is already kind of taking the bull by the horn, and he's leading the way, and Minshew's right there doing as well. 2 guys that's played, and you saw them play against each other last year, and they went neck to neck. But I'm really excited to see what happens. I think it's going to be a process. We're going to stick to the process. But as I said before, Aiden's earned the right to go out there and get the first snap.
Aiden said he's been through this before. Always had to fight for his job. Do you think that's what benefits him now?
Yeah, Aiden is mentally tough. I said this last year. I said Aiden has a certain thing mentally where he blocks out outside noise. He doesn't worry about it. I mean, I'm sure he reads like we all do. But when he comes to work, he's focused, he's prepared, he studies, he puts the time in. There's been conversations that we've had that I've seen him grow in this short period of time in the offseason. I'm really excited to see Aiden as we go through OTAs, mini camps, and training camp.
Coach, the corner Richardson who fell in the 4th round got some measurables that jump off the page: 6'2", 4'3", 40. What kind of upside do you see from him, and what do you see on tape?
Man, a sponge. But first of all, I can't make him taller, right? He stood up the other day and said, damn. And then when you watch him run, wow, right? And then when you talk to him, you talk about a guy that just loves ball, all ball, right? He's about ball and his horses. But more importantly, when you get him here, he's a sponge. And we can mold him into what we want. And when we looked at the draft, we wanted to get bigger. We want to get longer. We want to get faster. We want to get tougher. And he fits all those.
I know you mentioned Thayer a little bit ago. That's a guy that I think a lot of people kind of forgot about in the process.
How can you forget about him?
Everybody's saying, "Oh, you need a right tackle." He's here. He's been here. So.
We never said that.
Outside people have said it. I guess what have you seen out of him in his development?
Worked his tail off. Came back, great shape, running. He's got a little chip on his shoulder, right? I'm sure he reads the outside news. But look, he's looked really good. You know, we got them both. The thing about Thayer is special. Could play left tackle, could play right tackle. Hell, we even lined him up at tight ends at times last year. The versatility that he brings. But more important is year 3. And he understands this is a great opportunity for him to really just say, I'm your guy. And I told him, it's his for the taking.
What does Andrews Pete bring to the mix?
Veteran, right? Pro bowler, inside at guard. Gives you some flexibility at left tackle. What we want to do, and Telesco did a hell of a job, and we talked about it, is creating depth amongst our offensive line, right? We want legit 8, 9 guys. I want competition in every room. I want guys to be looking around and say, man, I can't have a bad day. There's no such thing as having a bad day. And you get a veteran presence who's been there and done it, and that helps a guy like Munford, right, grow and learn. Also could teach you some tricks of the trade with Colton Miller. So his experience, and I always said I value guys who've played in the league and played at a high level. He gives us that mentally.
Is he in the mix at right tackle also?
We'll keep him on the left side.
I guess one of the big stories around the team this week was potentially moving training camp to Southern California. I guess what kind of benefit does it have to get out of the heat and train somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't think it's more about the heat. It's about team bonding. When I played in the National Football League, we never stayed at our facility. I was used to traveling and going away and kind of bunkered up, us and 90 or 85 players at the time, whatever it was, and team bonding, getting together, getting to know one another, get away from all the distractions. All about ball. Just ball. I told us I want us to be the tightest group of Raiders that hopefully this organization has seen, and that's what we're going to grow and build on and get that physical toughness that we want to build on in training camp. And, yeah, does it help that it's a little cooler? No doubt. But more importantly, I think it's just good for our team to bond, to get away and just focus on us.
You guys good?
Antonio, let me just, you're a confident guy. I was just wondering, as you've gone through this process now with you and Tom and through the draft and all the scouts making the decisions, were there any kind of, oh, wow, or eye-popping moments for you that you didn't I didn't anticipate this or that, or this is something I didn't really think about, or?
Be honest, Bowers. We didn't see that one. Didn't see it. Didn't think he'll be there at 13. And was just shocked to see it, kind of just like, okay, he started counting. Wow, okay, no-brainer there. I mean, when you get a dynamic player, a guy that loves football, doesn't really like to talk to the media, so sorry, guys, right? He's not going to be long-winded. But he's all about ball, and he's a winner, man. He's a winner. He's tough. He wants to get better. I think the first thing, I talked to Mike right away when we drafted him, and I said, man, damn, this is going to be a great combination. 2 young studs to grow up together within our organization that can help us win a lot of games.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you, guys.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.